What's up, guys? This is Tabletop Vibes, and today we're taking a look at Neotopia by Arcane Wonders. Jason, tell us a little bit about the game.
We are building the city of tomorrow! And we're doing that through 3 regions on the game. We are going to be moving all sorts of elemental tokens on the game to populating it, and whoever has the most points in the 3 regions at the end of the game wins. And that's the basics of the game. It's a relatively simple, structured game, but it is tons of fun.
It has a lot of strategy that you have to
yeah.
and a decent amount of AP, and I lost.
But the mechanics are relatively simple.
They are.
So that new gamers would actually gravitate towards this game. So if you're looking for Christmas gifts, like, this is a great game.
Yeah, this is good. And like it's an easy grasp, but it can also be replayed a bunch of times with different strategies.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, you got your 3 regions.
Right.
And on your turn, you're going to do 1 of 2 actions, and you have 3 total actions that you do per turn.
Right.
Okay. So, you can draw a project card. So you start your hand, a couple of projects cards, and basically with these, they have little colored symbols, and they correspond to the various elemental token symbols on the game. And they're in a certain pattern. And you want to try to match this pattern in order to play that card. So you're going to draw more of these cards.
Right. Orientation does not matter.
Does not matter. So that's 1.
Yes.
The second action you can do is you can move the elemental tokens from the factory locations onto adjacent sections. So they can't leapfrog over, but they can go on to the left or right sections where they're at. And when you form a certain pattern, that's when you can automatically play, and score your project.
Yeah, and you have 4 different elements. You have energy, you have technology, citizens, and what's the last one? Bioforming.
Yeah, because people need to eat.
I guess so.
Yeah.
So you're using these 4 different elements to match, like Jason said, different project cards to fulfill victory points.
Right.
It's a free action to do so.
Yes.
The cool part about this game is comboing and triggering one to another.
Exactly.
So every end of every time you put out a circle or a tile, whatever you want to call it,
Elemental
token, and it creates a pattern that you can play that card down.
Right. So what's really cool about this is that since you can also pull cards, there's a lot of, hey, there's a pattern. Hey, I notice if I can put 1 token down, I can do it. I collect the card. I put the card token. I put it for free. And if you get a perfect turn, you can say, hey, I have all these cards in my hands. I put 1 token down, I score. I put another token down, I score. I put another token down, I score. It's like a perfect turn.
And at the same time, as you're gaining points, you're going up a track, 1 of 3, and you're gaining bonus tokens.
Right. So certain areas,
Huge.
Areas on the track when you hit, you get these bonus tokens. They are fantastic. You have draw extra cards for free.
Right.
You have an extra action, so you do 4 actions on your turn.
Helps a ton.
You can grab any 1 color from the supply.
That's huge.
And put it. That's probably the best one of all the bonus
I like
tokens.
that one a lot.
Yeah, they're really good. And on the outside track, there's like little dash marks. You can build out in the outside regions.
Yeah, like the water area.
Right, exactly. So you have a one-time build out there, and that helps you again from these patterns because again, once these colors go down, you can't move them.
Nope. And you can only play 1 bonus token per turn, but at the end of the game, if you do not use them, there were 3 victory points apiece.
Right. So, as the game progresses, you're going to be exhausting your factories. There's a spot in the center of the board that has basically the upcoming factory, what's going to be built.
Produced.
And you pull, or produced, thank you, that's better. And you're going to pull these down into the factory location that you emptied. You're going to flip over the tile. It's going to show the next color that's in preparation.
Next 4.
Yeah, that you're going to populate. So, just because you had 1 color come up before doesn't mean you'll still get that color, so it might be a glut.
When we played, we were super excited about red and green,
Yep.
and red and green were nowhere to be found on the
Except for the early game, they were, and then they disappeared.
And then we were over here with cards in our hand trying to make things work, and at one point Jason's just sitting there looking at I got nothing.
Right.
And then, because the crazy part is, if you don't have anything to fulfill, you're just going to put out, you have to do 3 actions.
Right.
So either pull more cards, and there's no hand limit, or put out the elemental tokens, but then you could be setting up somebody else for their game. So.
And in general, I would say with this game is there's a lot of trying to combo and make a really good turn, and then once you fulfill the big thing you're trying to do,
it's like starting over.
That's where a little AP comes in, because now you have to try to figure out the quote-unquote newer strategy. So there might be a little slowdown there, but that doesn't really, it's because there's so much you can do and so many different places you can place, it doesn't last too long.
Yeah.
So the game moves along pretty quick. I think we finished in about 40 minutes or so, a 2-player game.
Not even sooner than that.
Maybe 30 minutes. I mean, it was a pretty decent game. I think it was, 4 people, right?
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, 4 people. So, yeah, all in all, I mean, with a lot of people, you're going to have a lot of patterns.
Yeah, and you're going to have a lot of... And there is hate drafting.
Oh, yeah.
If you like a little take that, there's like someone setting up their pattern, and then someone just comes in and destroys it. Or there's the card you want, comes out, it's perfect for your thing, someone just takes it. Not even because they need it.
Yep. They don't
just because they don't want you to get it.
Right. So there is a reason why you would gravitate towards certain colors.
And game scoring.
Because what happens at the end of the game, each of you are a specific color. So one of you is green, one of you is red, one of you is purple, one of you is blue.
Yeah.
And at the end of the game, you go through each of the 3 different regions, and whoever has the most color in that region gets how many of their color that's continuous in that region added to their score.
Right, cluster points.
Right. So in specific regions, you want to chain those colors together to give you extra points.
Which helps a ton.
Right.
So then you're scoring, each region has a tracker, and then at the end of the game, you do the cluster points, and then you add up each region's score. But you take your first highest score, then you take your second highest score, and then your third lowest score, you're going to times it by 3.
Right, and that's huge because in our game, that timesing it by 3 actually made that region have the most points in the game.
Right.
So there's a lot of, you're going to be building this up. You kind of want to build each region up together.
Yeah.
You don't want to overload in one region. But unlike most games where they have this mechanic where it's like, well, the lowest point scores and that's it.
Right.
The interesting thing about this is because it adds your first most and second most, it creates even more of this weird balancing mechanic.
It does.
And it can really create some surprises when you tally up the points at the end.
Right. I think I had 33 points for my lowest after the 3, which was higher than all. The other one was 20 and 13. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's a blast. It's such a fun game to play. I lost, but I would play it again. And so, yeah, definitely check it out. It's a great Christmas gift to give out. And as always, like, subscribe, and comment if you've played. And we'll check you next time. Thanks for watching.